Welcome back to another amazing round of ausmericanaces NRL. I'm Renee Gartner and joined by Aaron Woods, and we've swapped out Ash because he's flying high in LA and brought in the great Michael Carayannis. Welcome, MC.
Ooh.
Hello, guys. How are we?
We're stoked to
We've
have
gone to
you
the
on
dark
board.
side.
Yeah.
Mate, you went to the dark side long ago. Don't forget where you get your paychecks from these days.
Shots thrown already. I like
It's
this.
fair call. It's fair call. We're actually mates now.
Yeah, oh, were you guys not mates while
No,
you were
no, I
playing?
played. No way, you can't trust him, man.
Oh.
I'm joking.
I reckon NC out of all the Journos,
He's the only one you
most-
can trust.
Yeah.
Yeah, not like that Brent Reed bloke. Cannot trust him.
Which one do you trust the least?
Oh, wow.
No, we won't go there.
No, nothing there.
No.
Oh, okay.
Which ones I trust the least?
Yeah.
Nah. There's a few I wouldn't tell my story to, though.
Like who?
Nah.
Jeez, we're really trying to get out of him already, aren't we?
Nothing. Nothing.
Nah.
He's solid.
He is. He does stick solid. Another bloke who does stick very solid,
Ugh.
particularly to the Maroons in the Northern States. Brent Tate, how are we, legend?
G'day, MC. I think it's an upgrade, mate, having you in that seat instead of Ash.
I'm so
Definitely an
Ash.
upgrade, mate. Good to have
Thank
you.
you, Tatey. Thank you. Good to see you.
Tatey, bit going on in Queensland, and Woodsy brought up a very valid point and something that happened in the podcast last week.
What happened?
Was there something that he
Can you
said?
remind me?
I think it was something to do with the Dolphins.
Was it like a dynasty of
Yeah.
like something, the next Penrith Panthers mob? Tatey?
Hang on. Let's just go back a little bit. I said they have the potential with the systems and their junior base to be like the Panthers. So I received an absolute flogging over the weekend from that comment. So thanks for reminding me, you two.
You were copying it on there before they even, and I use the word played loosely here on the weekend, but you were copying it before then. What was it like after the onslaught?
Yeah, it's been pretty heavy. I've copped a barrage. I've been on the ropes. I've had the gloves up, I can tell you, because it's come thick and fast. So I would like to point out that I do stand by those comments. I do think they will be a powerhouse in years to come once they get themselves established in the NRL, which they are. Certainly on the way to being a powerhouse club with their junior base. And, mate, they're a good club.
What'd you make of the game, though? Like, it was... I'd love to say there were peaks and troughs, but it just seemed like they were in the troughs the whole time.
Yeah, I think with the Dolphins, as we know, they've had a whole heap of injuries this year, probably more than any team in the comp. And I think, I just think it's caught up with them a little bit. They've had a lot of young guys come up and have to play a lot of first grade, especially in that forward pack. And then when they lost Herbie, he's a bit of a barometer for that side. Like, anytime he plays, he's getting early touches, he's involved in the game, and I get the feeling they feed off the back a lot of what a Herbie does. So, I just think they've had a lot of injuries. I don't think it's it is a loss, but I think they'll bounce back, the Dolphins. But, I just think there's a lot of guys on that side that have had to play a lot more first grade than what Wolfie would probably expect. And, they are now battling to stay in that top 8.
Tatey, I'd love to get your opinion on a little melee that happened, because from a little bit of a push and shove, and, there was a try scored in the corner, I think it was from Nwangane Tawasi, but then Lenu sort of instigates just like a little push and shove. I don't know if he did the shape up on purpose or
It was an ordinary shape up. It was a Mayweather defense.
From that incident, we got 4 blokes to the sin bin. I just thought it was a little bit over the top from the referee. What did you think on that, Tatey?
Yeah, I'm the same, mate. I absolutely would have been comfortable with Spencer going because he was the instigator. Yep. He was the one carrying on. So he goes to the bin, and then I think Dolphins have the advantage of them having a man down with him starting it. So, it's almost like we're going so PC with rugby league at the moment. Like, it's almost like, we've got to send everyone off and make the game really clean and beautiful. It's a tough, rough game. Everyone loved what we saw on the weekend. We're not condoning it, but no punches were thrown, no one was hurt. I agree. I reckon the Dolphins were sort of hard done by in that instance. I reckon Spencer should have been the one going to the bin only.
Can the Dolphins make the 8 from here, Tatey?
Well, I think they can, mate. I think they'll sneak in. I'd love to see them make the 8. I think it'd be a really good thing for that club, especially as we know, any time that Wayne's been at a club and he goes, they sort of fall to pieces. They haven't done it this year, but, mate, I think they'll sneak in, and I think, mate, we'll see the Dolphins in their first final series.
Well, speaking of who they're going to be playing this week, the Broncos, you talk about one bad pass that could lead to so many disastrous things. In one play, you lose Ezra Mam and Adam Reynolds from a hamstring from an intercept, And I think that's what sort of was the turning point for Cobbo as well. He copped a bit of a knock there too. Can the Broncos, like, they're only 2 points ahead of the Dolphins. This clash is huge. Will they still hang on to the top 8 position, Tatey?
Man, one thing with the Bronx is they have got those injuries, but pretty fair replacements coming in as far as depth in your club. I mean, Ben Hunt's hardly a rookie, so, he's a world-class halfback in his own right. Billy Walters goes into the 6, which I don't mind. I think him and Ben Hunt will really complement that side. So, mate, it's not great. Like, I love the way Ezra plays. I think he's been a huge part of their turnaround, the Bronx. So he's a big loss. Adam as well in his kicking game and control, obviously a loss, but mate, I don't think it's all doom and gloom for Brisbane. I mean, they're 2 pretty handy replacements coming into the halves, and mate, they've still got a fair bit of quality amongst that side. One thing, Billy Walters, all he has to do, mate, is get the ball to the outside backs, really. I mean, there's some weapons outside of him. It's just about playing his role, getting them good service and early ball, and I still think the Bronx can be a threat for sure.
MC, what did you make of the comments? I think it was Reedy came out and said that it was leaked to the media that the Broncos had lighter sessions during this week, and that was in the lead up to all the hamstrings getting done. And then you had Buzz coming out and saying it's Madge's fault all the hammies are done. What's the mail in the journalist circle?
Oh, look, there's been lots made around Brisbane's training techniques, right, over summer into this year. But I think if you sat, like, Michael Maguire loves a hard-nosed side. Well, everyone knows that, right? But his training loads and things like that are dictated by high-performance staff now. They don't just guess. Like, the coach is not out there just saying, all right, you got to get flogged and doing 100-kilometre runs or whatever the case may be, right? They're monitored closely. It is uncanny, 3 hamstrings in the one game. Like, you just don't see it at all. Two in the one play, right? You just don't see that at all. So I'm sure they've gone this week, stripped it back and took a look at what their training loads were like, right? But I think it's more bad luck than bad management.
I think, like, Tatey will tell you as well, like, every side trains hard. Like, it's a bit of a, like, Madge's got this hard. No, during the year, you got to be careful with your sessions because some blokes are a little bit busted, there's some that cooked. We don't know what Adam, if he's carrying any niggling injuries. But they reckon, Tatey, like, every team trains hard. It's a bit of a easy throw-off line that Madge is, he's flogging these blokes. But if you want to be the best, Penrith are the hardest trainers I've seen.
Yeah.
Mate, take a look at Melbourne. I mean, no one trains harder year in and year out than Melbourne. Like, they're not successful because they take a shortcut or take the easy route, mate. They do it because they work hard, they train hard, and, when they play, they're battle-hardened every year. So, mate, look, it's unfortunate. You're right, MC. These guys are so finely tuned. Every high-performance unit at every club has these guys, tuned to the absolute maximum. So, look, injuries happen. It's all part of footy. It is unfortunate, but as I said, Bronx have got pretty handy replacements and who they're coming into the halves. So I wouldn't be writing them off yet.
We go up to the Titans. You're talking about hard done by 2 weeks in a row. An interesting lack of penalty, I guess you'd say. We had the trainer last week. This week, the NRL have come out and said that it should have been a penalty try at the end with a high tackle on. I keep going to say Preston Campbell. I'm so used to saying Preston Campbell. It's showing my age. In Jaden, it must be so frustrating for Des.
Yeah, it would be because, again, there's a fair bit of pressure around Des for wins and losses at the back end of the season. So no doubt it'd be building and there'd be frustration there. But just on Jaden, I've been so impressed with his back half of the season. Mate. He's been so good in the halves. I reckon he's got a real future there, whether it's in the 7 or 6. I reckon he's going to be a good player for a long time in the halves, Jaden. I've loved and been really impressed with how he's attacked the game. So the biggest issue for the NRL, we got is players laying down after head highs, mate. It's becoming a joke. So I reckon they need to address it, and it needs to be addressed pretty quickly, I reckon.
And speaking of addressing something quickly, there's big news that Tino's going to be testing the market November 1. Like, for the Gold Coast Titans, he's your marquee man, Tatey. That's one player you don't want to be losing at a club. Surely he ain't going to get out of that Gold Coast Titans squad.
Oh, mate, it'd be catastrophic for the Titans if they let him go, I reckon. I think that'd put them back a good couple of years even further than where they possibly are. They cannot afford to lose him. I guess, he's going to test the market. Why wouldn't you? And he's probably going to get a little pay up increase or bump from the Titans if he is to stay. I mean, that's just when these clauses are in these contracts. I guess as a club, you open yourself up to this sort of stuff. So, mate, I'd like to think that club can turn it around, and I'd like to think that Tino is going to be a big part of that. I think it's critical moving forward that he stays at that club.
You talk about the Titans, Tatey, and there's a few questions that haven't been answered for the last couple of years, right? One is, how do you unlock David Fifita? None of us are still any closer to working that out. And then you mentioned Jaden Campbell in the halves as well. Keanu Kinney's named on an extended bench this week. They get AJ Brimson, who's playing fullback. Firstly, Fifita, what do you see there in terms of trying to unlock his talent? And then what's the best makeup of their spine with Kinney, Brimson, and Campbell?
Yeah, mate, good question. With Dave, I mean, this season's been another write-off for him, hasn't it? To be fair, a bloke of his talent has hardly played, and when he has played, probably at times has looked a little disinterested. So, mate, I think, from what we're all gathering, I would imagine there'd be a new coach there at the start of the year. I guess that connection piece with Dave and getting him to buy into the system and buy into the belief of the club and where they want to go, and him being a big part of that, I think, is job number one for whoever comes into the club. The best makeup, I think Jaden certainly in the halves is, I think he's a lock in there. I think he's only going to get better. Mate, I love AJ as a player, and I love Keanu Kinney. I don't know how they all fit in. I think if Keanu comes back and he hits the ground running, or next year he comes back and he's the player he was before he got injured, he's probably the fullback. But that leaves AJ. Where do you put him, mate? I can only really see him fitting him into the centres, but he doesn't get into the game like he does at fullback. So, mate, it's a big question for the Titans. It's one they need to get some clarity on, and I think what they need to do is start locking these guys in, and whether AJ plays in the centres or Keanu's fullback, just lock them in, let them learn their trade, let them ply their trade, and be the best in those positions, because they really have chopped and changed the last couple of years, which hasn't helped them.
And I know you claim yourself as part of the pedigree of the Dolphins and whatnot, being a junior there, but you also lay claim to being an absolute legend at the Cowboys.
Yes.
Geez, it must have been a tough watch on the weekend, that 1 point loss.
Yeah, it was a tough watch. I did think there was some good signs from the Cowboys, though. Cohen Hess has been outstanding all year. I think he's probably their closest to being player of the year outside of Tommy Dearden. I thought he was excellent. Some guys that have been really struggling. Laybutt in the centres, I thought the last couple of weeks, coming back from a knee reconstruction, is starting to show signs of the classy player we know he can be. So I think he'll be better for it next year. Plenty of questions around the Cowboys and their performances over the season, and what that looks like moving forward as far as their roster. I'm not sure, but certainly disappointment, because they have got a roster where they should be playing semi-finals football and they're not, quite simply. So that's been disappointing. But look, I thought there were some good signs, but when you say that, they still got beaten by Parramatta, who are below them on the ladder. Which when you peel that all back, it's about wins and losses, and they're still not getting the job done.
Tatey, we know they have been struggling, but fair dinkum to get Steve Sartori, their trainer, chickens, to try and get a carry off the back five. What he's doing?
The trainer gate. Yeah, mate. What are the chances of that happening the last couple of weeks? Honestly, our game just keeps on giving, mate. How good is it? I love that we've got a huge controversy around the trainers at the moment. It's given us something to talk about.
Well, you were a trainer at one stage, weren't you? Didn't you?
Have you seen me run with these knees, Renee? Not a chance, mate. No way. No way.
All right, Tatey. Well, that's most of the lock-up with Queensland at the moment, unless you boys have anything else to ask. No, we don't really care about the Queensland. No.
I don't like that attitude you lot with Queenslanders. Leave it alone.
I'm just Broncos. I think they're gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the Broncos are gone.
Disappointed.
Are you? Are
No,
you really?
Not really.
No.
Not really. I just love Tatey's comments. It's just taking the heat off me with the
mate.
the dynasty of the
Listen, no
Dolphins.
one's taking the heat off you already.
Hey, we bag you for bringing that one out, but you heard Woodsy's one where he said the Sharks were dead set top 4 team.
Unbelievable.
Oh dear. Okay, I might dig that out of the archives. Woodsy.
Don't worry, Tatey. A bit like yourself, I've been copying and hammering on Instagram as well, mate.
How good is it?
Oh, it's the best.
We're all going to take one throughout the year. So, Woodsy's taken quite a few. Thanks for joining us again, Tatey.
Cheers, guys. Have a good afternoon.
See you,
brother.
mate. We love to stir, don't we?
Oh, it's part of the game, isn't it?
You have dead set taken some good run-ups this year.
We've got to wear a bullet vest.
Are you still getting the feedback from all that stuff on the
always,
street?
always. They always remind me.
It
There's
cost
always
in
like,
New South Wales a series?
yeah, I wouldn't say I cost them the series.
I do.
I wasn't the one that didn't show up game 3. The worst is when I was commentating the game, MC, and people were just smashing the glass. They had 2 heads, so I knew they were.
You're lucky it wasn't in Queensland.
I wish it was.
100%.
Oh,
mate.
stop it.
That would have been the ground.
Stop it.
That's when we should have made you walk Caxton.
Oh, no, thank you.
Yeah.
I walk it the next morning, not that day.
Yeah. Not
No way
during-
in the world.
No. Hey, let's jump in. We normally get Ash to do highs and lows for the round that was, and obviously we covered a couple of things that happened last week. But MC, your highs?
Yeah, high with the Roosters' performance and Sam Walker. Like, what an incredible touch. He's just starting to find his feet now and, setting the Roosters up to potentially play finals footy, which looked unlikely a couple of weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
So he's been outstanding. A couple of games back from an ACL now, and he looks really dangerous.
Got a question for you. So we know about Cherry Evans going to the Chooks.
Yep.
What do they do with Hugo Saliva? Does he stay there, or does he go on loan to another club to give him an opportunity to still play first grade, to get that experience? Then once Cherry, because we don't know if it's a 1 or a 2-year deal, they bring him straight back and knowing he's had a full season of first grade under his belt?
I don't think they'll, because, indications are that Sandon Smith won't be there next year.
Okay.
So you can't lose Hugo and Sandon. So I can understand one of them obviously going, and it looks like it'll be Sandon. So if you're Hugo, as frustrating as it may be, and I'm not sure if he can turn into a bench utility because you've got Reece Robson coming and you've got Connor Watson in the squad already, right? So he probably doesn't play that bench role, but you'd hope that he'd be there and learn off DCE while he's out. I couldn't loan him out knowing that Sandon Smith was potentially going as well, because you need that backup just in case.
Are we any closer to the DCE decision?
Who knows? I don't know. Like, there was obviously talk this week that, or maybe they're getting cold feet. Maybe he'll just join the coaching staff.
Oh, wow.
Look, the only way that happens if DCE's come to the realization that he wants to retire.
Yeah,
Right.
okay.
Like, that would be it, because otherwise, if they've got a handshake agreement, the Roosters will live up to it. So he's been poor, but I think he still has
There's so
something
much on
to
your
offer
mind.
the
But
Roosters.
the thing
next
is,
year.
like, when you make a decision, I reckon he sort of knows what he wants to do, but he's probably still fighting with it in his mind. And it's really hard to play some good footy when you've got so much going on there. So we just want to make the decision, and then both parties can just move on.
Because that was the interesting thing that he said in round 3 or 4, whenever he came out. He goes, I just want to make this decision so it's not a distraction, right? I think he's probably been a little bit surprised by the fact, all right, you made that decision to leave Manly, but that's not the end point until you announce where you're going. And then that becomes the end point, right? Because we're still sitting here talking about it months later. So, if a decision has been reached, then, the best way to stop the innuendo is just coming out and saying, I'm going there.
Yeah. Well, because I spoke to Vesna, his wife, I think it was Women in League Round. I said, how are you guys actually going? She said, we've decided we're going to take, just not talk about it for a month because it's been too distracting and where he's going. But that was a risk that they ran by coming out so early and saying, we're leaving Manly. And that was like a real bold statement.
Yeah.
Like, even if you say he is going to retire and then just go to coaching staff at Roosters, that's even sad enough to see that he didn't just retire at Manly and coach at Manly. Yeah.
I actually have no issues if he's with any of it, but if he does decide to retire and then goes to coach somewhere else, I think long run it's better for him, right? Because he's only known the Manly system and the Manly way, right? So for him, and if he wants to be I don't know if he wants to be an NRL coach though. If he wants to be an NRL coach, he'll get so much out of coaching somewhere else and looking at a whole new setup. So I think for him long term, from a coaching perspective, it's 100% the right call to get out of Manly. Even though they have a job, they would have had a job for life for him.
My thing is, if he does end up retiring and then going to coach at the Roosters, right, he's just not wasted his last year, but he didn't get to enjoy it.
Agree.
That's the biggest thing. You want to enjoy when you know you've only got a year or two left, and it is so far from him. Like, you can tell it's not the happy, the smiley Cherry.
Yeah.
You want to see him just go out there and he's got.
And he should be celebrated, right?
That's exactly. He should, and he's Is
The
he
most capped player, the most capped Seagull player, yeah.
So, and the fans should be able to celebrate him every chance they get.
And right. And that's part of the sadness of it is the fact that, okay, if he does retire, some of that goodwill's been lost because of the way it's played out, right? And, some of the fans will have some angst, whatever the case may be. So it's a shame because he is an iconic figure at Manly, the most capped player, premiership winner, he's probably captained the most games at the club as well because he's been captain for a long time. So these are lots of things in a star-studded history of the club that you're right, he just hasn't been able to enjoy.
I'll tell you, like Manly's been in the headlines again this week and for other reasons, and they're talking about a former Manly player in Anthony Watmo coming out with with the great man Chocky saying that he's coming for Siebes' head. And it was funny, I was on the phone to him before the podcast and I was just like, mate, you're in the headlines again. Like, he's the crankiest bloke you'll ever know on the phone. And
not really, but if you get to meet him,
no, he's not. He's happy
guy.
as, but geez, he gets like...
Oh, he gets riled
up. Oh,
yeah,
he's
very passionate.
Riled up. And he got riled up about this because I just went, mate, you're in every article saying you're going for the heads. And he goes, I'll say flat out now, so I was approached by Siebes last week and got told that my name was getting thrown around. He goes, one, I haven't spoken to George.
So he spoke to Siebes?
Yeah, he spoke to Siebes and they buried it, but now all of a sudden after they buried it, it's now in every article.
Wow.
He reckons he's getting named as the scapegoat, which I think is an interesting mail. So
let's just say, do not point the finger at Chocky.
Oh, do not. Mate, he was, I said, do you want to come on the potty and sort of say it, or you can come on as a phone call? And he goes, nah. He goes, when I'm ready to fire shots, I'll fire shots.
He was my first roomie.
Was he?
In Origin camp.
How did that go?
Yeah, how was that?
Every night he used to have a Chocky concoction. So he said, mate, you want one big fire? And I was, I might just stay away from that, brother.
What was in it?
I have no idea. I didn't ask. So I was so in awe because I was a mad Manly supporter growing up.
Yeah.
I had a Manly jersey at home that only had Chock Watmow's signature on it.
Oh.
And it took me about 4 days just to let him know that. And then
that would have been so awkward.
Once I did tell him, he was pumped, mate.
Yeah.
and it was, for me, what a dream. I got to play with a bloke I idolised. But yeah, it wouldn't get on the bad side of Chock.
Who was your worst roommate or your best roommate in those
worst
rentals?
roommate?
Eventually you guys ended up one-on-one, like you had your own room?
I always had rooms. Yeah,
Okay.
Aussie, Mount Meninga said get individual rooms so your families could come in.
Yeah, okay.
Which at that time I only had Sarah, which was my wife, so I didn't have any kids. So and we were in England, so she didn't really come over that much. I would either spend my time in Dave Clemmer's room or he'd be in mine. So we'd take the mattress out, go it across. It was great. It was good until Dave flooded the hotel room, and then you walk down the aisle, down the hallway, and then it's squishy feet. So
What do you mean he flooded the hotel room?
So after a big night on the cans,
Are we talking about shower flooding? or?
I'll tell you, Big Dave tends to go to the toilet and sit on the toilet for quite a while he's playing with his phone. And then I woke up about 3 hours later and realised that Big Dave was still on the toilet while our bathtub was still going. So yeah, Big Dave had a little bit of a what we call a nap while he was doing a poo.
Details.
And let me just say, it wasn't the first time either.
Yeah.
It was one of many.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, so he flooded the bathroom regularly.
Oh, mate, there was actually one time in Barcelona. So this is so funny. Cooper Cronk organised it. So we played against New Zealand. So we had you play a Four Nations. You play if you win the first two games, you're guaranteed to be in the final.
Yep.
So for game two, we're playing New Zealand. We had a captain's run. Then we all went to Flight Centre, and Mal goes, "If you guys win this, I'll give you the whole week off and just do captain's run, and we'll play against England because we're already qualified for the final."
Yeah.
So I think of the squad of 24, 19 of us went to Flight Centre. Cooper Cronk, smartest man, like he can organise a trip. We booked a trip to Barcelona. So we had 2 or 3 nights in Barcelona. It was all under Cooper Cronk's name. Airbnb, these mad hotel rooms. Like these hotel rooms were cool. Like David and I just fit through the door. But like it was mad just to be there with the boys. Like it was an unreal experience. Night 2, we had our first experience with red wine. So
first experience with red wine. You're like, how old are you? Like 26? How old are you on this tour?
24. So I'm a beer drinker, man. I'm a beer drinker. I don't drink red wine. Big Dave was drinking red wine like it was cordial.
Oh, God.
I wake up, when we got home, I can't remember what time, because they're like, the way they work their systems over there, like you go out partying at like midnight.
Yeah.
So we wake up, we got to go to a flight. I wake up and I have a look over. It is like a murder scene. There's just red wine vomit everywhere. And we had clothes. I said, Dave, let's just leave all these clothes here. Just get what we're wearing now. Let's go airport. Never know if Cooper Cronk got his body.
Wow.
Thanks, Coops.
Well, does he talk to you now in the media?
Yeah, mate, I just never
Okay.
bring it up. Because he hired 14 rooms or whatever, how many rooms we had.
That's mental.
So, yeah,
The wrong person to piss off too.
Big Dave, good man to tour with. Love
We're
him.
both laughing that you've never had red wine. Can you tell that journalists
But-
really need to hear that?
I don't drink red wine still now.
No, I don't drink. I don't
No,
drink
it's
red
crap.
wine either.
Really?
Yeah,
Nah, I'm a beer drinker, man.
I'm with Woodsy, not for me.
Oh, red wine,
No.
whiskey.
I'd had it by the time I was 24 though. But
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not. I don't
No,
drink it
first
now.
experience, mate, when you actually... Big
You
Dave.
say experience, I hear first time
Yeah.
sculling red wine and being, rookie.
Great trip, that one.
Absolute rookie.
I'll save another story for next week.
I can't wait. Because I want to. We've obviously spoken about like George Mimas was part of that chalk story as well too. There's been a lot of stuff in the media lately about managers. Obviously, Woodsy at the start of the year, the Isaac has been thrown around the media, but the latest one that is sort of troubling is Ricky Stewart obviously coming out and mentioning a player asked for a release based on wanting to go back to Queensland for family reasons, and next thing he gets signed at Penrith. What's the mail there with how much power or the agents have at the moment?
Yeah, that is a rare one.
Yeah.
That is different. Like, and sometimes clubs won't release a player until like they know where he's going, right? So look at the Trey Mooney, Josh Papali'i situation at the moment. If once Josh does take that offer to remain at Canberra, the Raiders will release Trey Mooney. If he doesn't take the offer, they're not going to release Trey Mooney, right? So that obviously safeguards them a bit. So yeah, well, player agents are super powerful. They're influential. They're powerful. They're connected. But a story like that does surprise me.
Yeah.
It does surprise me because it's quite obviously a lie to the club, and Ricky won't forget. Blacklist.
But you know what I also think?
Ricky's not one you need on the back.
If they're contracted at Canberra should be able to have the final say on what they do.
Yeah, Canberra shouldn't have released. Like Canberra should have put in that. It's probably
Put in that
a little
clause.
bit naive from
Didn't that-
Canberra in a sense that they could, because they can say to the
Didn't
player,
Reece Walsh have something like that, MC?
Yeah.
When he was the Warriors?
yeah, so you could only negotiate with the Broncos or whatever the case may be.
Couldn't
yeah,
go
go to the Dolphins.
That's
Oh,
right.
that's
yeah.
right.
So the
yeah.
club, because the club holds the power, right? So
Yeah.
the club could say, we'll release you to only New Zealand or Queensland or whatever the case may be, only Sydney. If you want to come back to Sydney, only Sydney-based sites. So I think Canberra probably, put their trust, obviously, into someone that hasn't paid it back. And
It's the assumption, right? Like Ricky would think he's the kind of bloke, and the club would think
he's a
that-
handshake sort of guy,
Yeah.
Ricky, right?
I'll tell you what, I wouldn't want to be that kid walking around Ricky at training. Oh.
Nah, well, he'll just never be seen again.
Yeah.
No, just be
I'd
wet
just
gutted
send
dog
if I
comments
was
coming
Ricky,
out
I'd just
again,
send him to
wouldn't it?
Queensland now.
Wouldn't bother.
Yeah, just send him to Queensland
you just
now.
you wouldn't
Go
bother.
back home, champ.
You
Have the
wouldn't
rest of the
bother.
year off.
Yeah.
Just no shows.
Yeah.
Yeah. Spencer Leniu, another player, which I found really funny in that Dolphins game that we saw. Leniu, we spoke about him shaping up the start of the show, but then he got taken off for the rest of the game, which to me, that was Robbo going, if I leave him on, there's going to be another fight and I'm going to lose him in the run to the finals. He's now up against the Bulldogs this weekend and against some pretty niggly players. Is that a massive headache for Robbo? Like I wish there was a bet that we could put on with points bet. I honestly reckon he's going to get suspended before the year's end.
I love it.
It's great.
I'm here for it.
I
I'm not
love it.
saying I'm
As if you
against
were not
it.
watching that on the weekend and going, how good is rugby league?
Yeah,
I
I
love
was
it.
filthy. The referee gave 4 players 10 in the bin. It was that was a joke.
yeah.
The only one that probably should have, and I still don't think he should have got 10 in the bin, was Spencer Leniu. Because he didn't really do much. He walked past him. He was just mucking around. Like, it wasn't like
no,
it was serious.
I thought honestly Spencer did the least out of all of them.
The Albricks, he ended up throwing a jab.
Yeah.
That's what no one spoke about.
Molo too. And
Molo
and
as well, yeah. And Father White, he did the right thing and pulling Molo away.
So yeah, but no, I don't know. Robbo's had Jared Rio-Hargraves used to cross the line all the time, right? Or play on that edge and went over it a fair bit.
Poor bugger though, he got rid of, not got rid of, but Hargraves moves on. He's there going, yeah, sweet. Then you got Victor Radley. Then you got Spencer Leniu. Like the poor Robbo.
what
No,
about-
but that's what you want in your footy team. You want blokes to go when there's a line, and you want them to sort of just cross it just that little bit, because that's what puts fear in the opponent's eyes.
Yeah.
And blokes like Radley, you're looking up in the defensive line, seeing when you're carrying the ball and going, where is this bloke? He can absolutely smash me. He's a hothead. He wants to come after me, and that's what you need in the footy side.
Yeah, I love it. I think, he obviously does have to harness it and they have to be cautious of Spencer not, seeing red too often. But if they need him to do it, because as Woodsy said, you need those enforcers. But Canterbury will come for him. The fans will come for him while he's warming up and down the sideline as well. He's going to cop it.
Who got the last laugh?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? My favourite part about Spencer Leniu, it was on the weekend. It was Origin when they played up at Suncorp, and he's just going nuts to the crowd.
Yeah.
He's nuts, right?
You love to see it, but if you ever meet Spencer off the field,
He's
one
lovely.
of the most
Yeah.
politest and nicest bloke. We
Softly
both went to
spoken, yeah.
Vegas with him for the first promo tour.
Yeah.
And it was a bit like, we don't know what to expect from Spencer. Absolute legend.
Yeah, he's like
completely different to what you
Jekyll
see.
and Hyde, hey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jared Hargreaves was exactly the same. When
Yeah,
you play
very
against him,
true.
he was one of the biggest pain in the ass, worst blokes. You meet him off the field and you go, I hate that I like this guy. I'm telling you. This is
No,
exactly
you're right.
what
No,
they
you're
like.
100%. Like, Jared was actually softly spoken. Spencer's
Jared, champion, and Spencer,
Spencer
mate,
is pretty reserved and softly spoken on,
Yep.
on that trip. It was like, well, like, you know, and
very smart Spencer.
he's
Is
across
he?
it. Yeah.
Very
He's
smart.
Would
switched
you running
on.
through some maths or
No, English. He
like,
topped the English, I heard, for his... Swear to God. Have you heard that?
I haven't, no.
Topped English in his grade.
How did you go in English?
Yeah.
Did I go? I didn't really go. I can't pronounce words properly, so that's
How
how
did
good
it
I'm
come
going.
up in a conversation? That
We
he
did a
topped
spelling test on the
English?
plane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
It was no contest against me. I was on the ropes, ready, begging. Stop.
how do you spell you? Y-O-U-S.
You? Isn't it just you?
Use. I thought you said use.
Oh. So, yeah, we need some madness.
Yeah, I like it. We bring madness here. MC, you've written some epic articles across your world, but as Woodsy and I both said, you've been one of the nice guys from the minute that we've known you come into
Yeah.
the game. What's probably one of your favourite stories that you've ever covered in your time?
So it's hard. Like, there's like that can be interpreted two ways, right? Renee? Like the best news stories that I've done,
Yeah.
or ones that didn't really generate news, but they're lovely stories.
Well, what
Like,
did you enjoy
Okay.
most?
Yeah.
I love breaking news, right? So that's you know the two biggest ones that I've broken would be like South Sydney in Arizona when they got arrested,
Oh,
when
that
John
was
Sutton
you.
got sacked, and we had the mug shots and all that sort of stuff. So
Did Sutton get sacked from that?
from captaincy, sorry.
Oh,
Oh, yeah,
captaincy,
yeah.
yeah,
Well,
yeah,
yeah. Good clarity there. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And Luke
Yes,
Burgess, wasn't it?
Luke Burgess, yeah. And, they paid some hush money to one of the blokes. It was just crazy. It was like
Ooh.
4 or 5 days worth of stories because don't get arrested in America because they'll give out everything.
Really?
Mugshots, police reports, court documents, so much
As
easier than
opposed to
here.
Australia, they won't give anything?
Well, we
or-
don't see mugshots here, right? So just
Yeah.
think of all the celebrity mugshots
True.
you've seen,
Yeah.
right?
That's true, yeah.
You don't see them here.
So how did you get wind of that story?
I got a tip. It was actually from my boss at the time. Goes, not sure what's happened. Something's happened with South overseas.
Yeah.
That was it.
Were you there?
I wasn't there. No, I was in Sydney. I was at my parents' house at a barbecue when the phone rang. It was in summer.
Wow.
Right. And I was like, okay. So then you start making some calls, and then, like I was on the phone early hours of the morning here to speak to the police, and they loved it. They loved talking to an Aussie, right?
Yeah,
like
for sure.
so there's a bit of novelty there, and it just flowed from players being thrown out of a pub to being arrested to court documents to mug shots to everything. So it was like 4 or 5 days worth of stories, right? So off the back, South had won the comp too.
Oh, of course.
Right.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
there was a
yeah.
lot going on. Right. So that one, and more recently the rainbow, mainly rainbow jersey.
Oh, that was you as well.
Yeah. So they're the biggest, right?
Yeah.
But then, like, in terms of news value, but like, I did a story. You guys probably wouldn't even remember this guy's name, Kiko Manu, right?
Yeah.
He was a winger for Canterbury. Wouldn't have played much first grade, but I interviewed him on his debut, and earlier that year he was living in a service station, right, in the office of a service station, right. I had a photo of his bed, all this sort of. So he was a guy that essentially came for nothing to try and make out, try and get a crack into his NRL career. Eventually played first grade, right. So stories like that, when people tell you, Adam O'Brien after the passing of his mum, got a big lion tattoo here, and I sat down with him and he spoke about dealing with that and what the tattoo represented and things like that. So there's some, like, when people tell you, when people are a little bit vulnerable or tell you, their story that's, really deep and personal, you've got to treat that with respect. Doesn't have the same news value, won't generate the same amount of clicks or headlines, but they're equally as important.
Speaking of, like, doesn't generate clicks or headlines, what about when you say you've got a relationship with someone in the game and then you get some, say, bad goss about them? Like, how do you approach that situation?
Yeah, delicately, right?
Yeah.
It's awkward, right? Because you can ring someone and say, well, you'd contact them directly, right? If you've got that relationship with them, and you go, look, I've heard this. If I've heard it, there's a good chance it's going to come out, right? And it's different to 20 years ago or longer, where you might be able to control stories a little bit better, but because of social media now, sometimes things that we don't really think are stories, or you probably wouldn't write, but someone's got video footage on it and it's gone feral online, right? So you can't.
You have to
The
touch
genie's
on
out of the bottle, right?
Yeah.
Like you can't put that back in. So that's where it gets delicate and interesting. But the first thing would be having a conversation with them directly if I know them and I'm comfortable with them. Otherwise, you've got to go through the club or their agent. Best course is to obviously deal with the player straight away and go, look, how would you like to manage this? Because it's coming out,
Yeah.
right? You know, if you get on the front foot, you have some sort of control of the story. Otherwise, you just don't know where it's going to go. So
That's interesting. So you sort of say, well, we can control how it gets out there. I can't help you if the other people get a hold of it and they just go bang.
yeah, because you don't know. You can get blindsided.
Yep.
Anything can happen. And that's not to say that it's going to be like it's. If you've stuffed up, you've stuffed up.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not my fault.
Yeah.
Right. So you judge it as well on news value and you know what they've actually done.
Do you have many mates that look at other papers or other broadcasters and say with your mates, right, and say you're chasing a big yard. So, for instance, say like the Lockie Galvin one this year, and then say you've got a lot of leads, you sort of know what's going. Do you sort of, and say you just get pipped at the post, like someone else from another company or another broadcast gets you.
Yeah.
How does that make? Because that's like for us, that's like a loss on the weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel?
It's like a loss on the weekend.
Really?
It's exactly the best way to describe it, right? Particularly, like if I know about something, that's what. If I didn't know, full credit. Like you've got beat, unlucky. You didn't know about it. Should you have known about it? Sometimes there's stories you go, wow, well done. Where did that come from, right?
Yep.
Other ones, the ones that kill me is the ones that you know, and you're either double checking something, or you know it's going through the legal, or it hasn't gone online yet, or whatever.
What about they say, managers? I just need you to hold this for a second, and then boom, you hear their other source. Like that
happens too. Yeah, but it is a delicate line to cross. And you talk about relationships. Yeah, I've got one of my best mates, Michael Carayannis.
Yeah,
right. We speak.
What a grub.
we speak almost almost every day. We are direct competitors.
Yeah.
Right.
He's Herald, you're telling.
Yeah, and we go head to head a lot, right? So, but like sometimes if I've got a good yard, I won't ring him back until because you can't lie to him, right?
So have you done it a lot of times to him?
I'm just saying.
Does he pick up on that? Does he keep trying to ring you?
Nah. If he hasn't heard from me from 3 days, then there might be drama. But.
Well, he knows now if he listens to the show.
It's good stuff to hear because we don't really hear from the journalists.
And he's the same. And like we are, we've been on tours against each other when someone's broken a story, someone it's not personal. Yeah. Like I'm not out to get him or anything like that. We're both doing our job and we've both done it long enough now where we've got the mutual respect where, I'm not going to dud him, he's not going to dud me, but that doesn't mean that I'm not trying to beat him every day.
Yeah. But I've got another question for you. What's the difference with the players now to when you first started? Because media's evolved massively. It's a huge part of our game now.
A little bit. I think I had the advantage of being young when I started as well. So you
come on a Four Nations.
I did a few tours with you.
You won that Four Nations.
Won that Four Nations, yeah. I didn't go to Barcelona.
You seen how dusty we were when we come home, didn't you?
They went missing for 5 days, like a few days off. How good. So I did a few PNG, couple of PNG.
Yeah, a couple of PNG. Yeah, they were great.
Were you there the year Birdie and that disappeared and went to a nightclub? You would have been there that year in PNG.
Well, I don't think the staff of that knew about it.
No, not in PNG. I had a night out with Birdie in
Cairns.
No, Cairns. No. It was in Manchester or something.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. One night because he was an emu. So we used to hang out with the emus a little bit, the ones that weren't playing. And then you'd go out with them because for us the big night for Journos too was the night before the game because you can sleep in the next day. Yeah. The night of the game is a bit more chaotic, right? So that's when the players that play have a night out. We don't usually do that. So. It's different. I think the current generation they're pretty good. They're well schooled. They're well media trained. The issue is, and this comes back to your point, is that the only time you can really build great rapport with players now is if you do a tour with them. Because it breaks down. That's how I got to know you. That's how you get to know all these players is because you become human. You see them every morning. You say hello. And the worst thing that can happen on one of those tours is drama. Yeah. Because you don't you know what I mean.
Well, let's just say you're not going to sit there and say, I could run over Fox and smash. I
didn't say
listening, that. That wasn't Brett Reed said.
That wasn't me.
He reckons he could have folded Josh out of the car running at him. And he just had a bit of courage using his system. Reedy, just come on, mate, pull back in your lane.
Yeah. They had to stop Josh out of the car from running at him.
Yes.
Well, Woodsy
Trevor
was-
Gilmeister didn't help there.
Well,
Yeah.
imagine Gilly with Reed, he would have killed him.
100%.
yes.
Woodsy spoke about like being on tour with the boys. You obviously were on tour with the Journos all the time, and we were in Origin camp together many
Plenty
times.
of Coffs Harbour trips.
Coffs Harbour. That was a great.
Camp Coffs was fun.
Camp Coffs.
We had a good time.
Yeah.
It was
I
good.
don't know about
Who
you
was
guys.
the best on tour with the Journos?
Like Reedy is always the best.
Yeah.
Reedy is always the best in terms of like he's great value. He's a little bit mad. Has
He's got a
time.
good way he lives his life.
Yeah,
Like,
Reedy's like outstanding.
He's just the happiest man alive too. It's
Yeah.
I've never seen Reedy angry.
Oh, he's good. Chammy doesn't drink
Oh, yep.
much, so we play a lot of PlayStation. So it was a little bit different tools.
You're a gamer.
Yeah, well, we played PlayStation. We played like FIFA and stuff like that alongside this bloke. I remember we played. I think it was
me, Clem,
Clem.
Tommy Turbo.
yeah, Jakey. Or
Turbo.
Jakey just sit there and watch.
Yeah, Jakey.
Yeah.
Jakey wouldn't
He
play.
gets frustrated, Jakey.
Oh,
Yeah.
Tom Trebojevic,
Does he?
like
Never noticed.
Tom's unbelievable.
Tom.
Really?
Yeah.
It was like if I said to Tom, "Let's go play a game of backyard footy," and he'd obviously like carve me up. It wouldn't even be close.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like playing FIFA against the bloke.
Tom's-
I'm like,
Tom-
mate, can you just like not? Can you stop?
But that's it. You play golf with Tom. You play
Far
tennis with
out.
Tom. You go surfing. He's just the best at everything.
Oh, really?
Oh, he's
Just
one of those
Midas
guys.
touch.
You just give him, cricket. Unbelievable. It's frustrating.
Yeah.
I much prefer to play Clem.
Nothing loose.
Oh yeah, but your crazy eyes come out. But
Weirdest player or weirdest interview you've ever done?
weirdest interview I've ever done. I remember interviewing Matt Moylan once when he was captain of Penrith.
Moisa.
And I had to stop and go, "Are you okay?" Like it was just so awkward. Like he just didn't speak.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was tough. It was a tough carry.
What was that after?
No, there was no drama, no scandal.
Just
It
to
was
get
just
to
a
know.
run of the mill interview, and I had to stop it. And I was like, "Are you all right, mate?" Like
Oh.
yeah, it was.
Scatterbrain.
Would've
Moylan.
got- would've got-
Love him. I love
Would have been
Moylan.
200 words in the poll. I was like, I can't turn this into a story. This is just,
All right.
there's nothing.
I'm
To
going
it.
to ask you about a good one.
Which one?
Your man, Jerome Luai.
Yeah.
What did you say to him at the airport?
No, I want to go into what I said.
Nah,
Like,
what happened?
The,
Like how?
the biggest mistake I made in all that was saying it publicly.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have said it.
What'd you say
did you
publicly?
say
Like,
in an
I told the
article?
story publicly on a podcast,
Okay.
and that
For
was
those that didn't hear it, a little
well,
quick recap.
yeah. So,
Just had
it
an
was-
opinion on Luai, said it to his face.
Yeah.
When he's like, if you get to meet Jerome Luai, he's actually a legend.
he's a
Yeah,
great.
he's really
He's
nice, yeah.
he's a great guy,
Yeah.
right? He's a great guy, and you know, I love how charismatic, how opinionated, how headstrong he is, right? So it was after Origin.
We lost that one, didn't we?
Yeah. And he pulled up the post, "Oh, you suckers have to go to work tomorrow," or something like that. And I just happened to see him at the airport, and I said to him like I sort of intimated, mate, like you shouldn't, like, why do you put this arrow on you? Because you're not like that, like in person.
You're a
right?
great bloke. Like, there's no need to put that in.
Yeah. And he obviously didn't like it, right? So then a couple of weeks later, I went to go to interview him at Penrith, right? It was teed up by the club.
Yeah.
Well, I went to Penrith and was going to speak to him, and he comes out, sees that it's me, hadn't put two and two together, right?
Yeah.
And goes, "Yeah, no, I'm not being interviewed by this guy. This Gronk," he called me. So a couple of weeks, I don't know, so I was obviously annoyed. So I told the story. I shouldn't have told the story,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So that was like hardly anyone knew. That was a learning curve for me. Like I shouldn't have told
Have you
the story.
spoke to him?
Heaps of time.
Oh,
We're
that's great.
sweet
That's
as,
great.
yeah.
That's great.
Because I've apologized to him and he said yes. We're all like heaps of times, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I don't want to relive it because I don't want it
that's fair
to.
enough,
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't want it to blow up or become a thing because I was in the wrong, right?
Yeah.
So like, let's be clear
So
about
not
that.
many people would say that they were. in
Oh,
the
I
wrong,
was,
right?
yeah, no doubt, right? No doubt, and I really love interviewing him.
Yeah.
Like I actually like he's one of the current players where you go, who would you like to interview? Like he's up there,
Well,
right?
because he speaks,
He
right? Like he
speaks,
gives
yeah.
you things.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
honest. He just tells you how he's
yeah.
thinking.
So
It's great.
yeah, that was. Oh god, that blew up because he was put in my face. He had me as like a rat and stuff on his Instagram.
that's right.
Oh wow, yeah. So that
We'll get that up for social.
yeah, it's all out there, so you can find it. Like so.
Don't worry, mate. I've had my head on. It's all good, brother. The whole state had me on my head. on
Oh
something.
yeah. So it was
That's why he always goes and does new stuff to make it go further down the Google search. Unfortunately for him, him nudes now the
mate.
top
Oh,
one.
yeah. You beauty.
We'll jump straight into the Would You Back It. You're going to take Ash's position and give us your tips as well too. But we'll head through the games. And basically, I'm going to ask you who you think's going to win You can make a bold claim if you'd like to, but we'll kick off Thursday night, which I love because if this game was in Melbourne, there's no AFL on Thursday night.
Wish it was.
This is a big game of the round for Melbourne, but Melbourne fans can obviously tune into it. Penrith taking on Storm.
Big loss, Pappenhausen
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
What's he done?
Concussion.
Yeah, it snuck under the radar a little bit because it was only 4 o'clock when the teams got announced, and she was like, oh,
Yeah, where is he?
no Paps.
I actually had Storm, but then when I read, when I heard it at 4 o'clock on Tuesday, Arvo, I'm actually going with Panthers now. I think Panthers will be too strong at combat.
Because they're missing Yo too.
Yeah, but I just, watching Penrith, their players, all their good players are starting to find form. And it's something that's really scary for this competition.
Well, the last time these guys played was when Panthers were at the bottom of the ladder.
Yes. Yeah.
Bottom of the ladder.
Stark.
It's crazy to say,
Stark
right?
difference.
They were outright last. Round 13 or 12.
Yeah.
Crazy,
I think it was.
crazy. Oh, I'm with Woodsy though. I'm going to tip Penrith.
Are you? Okay. Oh, all right. Friday night, we kick off Warriors taking on the Dragons.
Yeah, look, the Warriors, geez, they've had
That
such
was
a great
brutal last
year, but
weekend.
last week, I'm going to go Dragons. Dragons in New Zealand.
I know Warriors at home. They'll just find
Yeah.
a way. They'll scrap their way to victory.
Yeah.
I'm just not confident. In the
I'm not
Warriors
like
at
you
the
can't
moment.
be confident at all.
Yeah.
And the Dragons have found some form, right?
I know that they have got Wade Egan back, but I tell you what, Sam Healy, I've really enjoyed watching him get some opportunities.
Wade Egan's a good player though.
Yeah,
Like,
Wade
Wade,
Egan's
you know,
gun.
as long as he stops getting busted, like he just
Yeah, he's one to get worried about.
He's a really good player, right? So, I think I'm gonna go Warriors.
Warriors at home and you're going Dragons. Roosters Bulldogs. So this is the game. I think this is going to be the second game in the round.
This is so hard to pick this game.
Yeah.
I honestly, literally, I'm going to go Bulldogs because I've seen Connor Tracy's on the extended bench. And I like him. If he's back in the side, it just pushes Karaz back to the wing.
Yeah.
It gets everyone back into their normal positions. Stephen Crichton will just, stick to that edge centre, which I reckon they might make him float a
How
bit
dangerous has he been?
because he's been so much more dangerous, and it's going to open their attack up.
Yeah, I'm loving what they're doing with Stephen Crichton when he's particularly on that right hand side. He's been playing as a fullback. It's super dangerous, right?
floater.
Super dangerous. They need to stick with that. Don't you reckon, Woodsy?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of him. And I think he was brought to come to the club to play fullback, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you've seen a couple opportunities he got on the weekend where he just got on the outside. Can't remember who exactly it was, but he just went bang, bang, bang and just sliced straight through, scored a try from a scrum.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I think if they're a chance of winning this competition, they've got to get Stephen Crichton playing that role, defending at centre, but getting his hands on the ball and good ball.
And I want to see Burton run more. The best games the Bulldogs play is when Burton's running the line.
Yeah.
So dangerous.
Yeah. Okay, Sharks versus Titans. Woodsy, this is your would you back it, but quick hit here.
Yeah, Sharks.
Sharks.
Even though they've been playing like bastards too. Like,
Yeah. Oh, mate, I've tipped the Sharks to be Smokies for top 4. Boys let me down last week against the Dragons, and let me tell you, Shane Flanagan let me know all about it. Bloody hell. But look, honestly, thanks to the stat, mate, we've got Philip Semi. He's on fire right now. He scored a double in his last 2 games. I'm going to go Philip Semi anytime try scorer.
Yep.
And I'm going to go Ronaldo Mulatalo because, look, there's a good stat here. The left edge for the Gold Coast Titans has been leaking 36% of their points down that edge. So I like the Ronaldo Mulatalo combination with Sifa Talakai, but I'm going to go Mulatalo 2+ tries.
Ooh,
Not just
okay.
1, 2, and Sharks minus the start.
Okay.
I think Sharks win this one well.
I should have asked MC, you wanted to do one for the game just before that we spoke about. So, I mean, you were a late call up to throw a little.
Yeah.
And you're not a punting man, you say, but points
That's what
better.
he says, but he tells me
points
every week,
better
what
would've
about
put one out.
Roosters and
Yeah.
Swifty? You're kidding.
No. I like the Roosters into a Victor Radley anytime try.
Okay. I like that because Statmate have come out and said Radley is far more likely to score in a Roosters win.
There you go.
He averages a try every second win, but hasn't scored in their last 10 losses. So if Roosters are on top, Radley is a big chance. And that was, I think it was paying like $11 or something.
Yeah.
Wow.
There you go.
So decent.
I like
Decent.
Radley. Radley's starting to get some good form. He's getting over that little bit of a shoulder injury.
Ash has been struggling with his bets of late. So
Oh, yeah,
if
but he
you
goes to
come
things
in
that
and
pay
bring out a
$62
multi.
to one. That's why.
That's because he puts 1,000 pound
Mate.
ticks in his multi.
Honestly.
We then go into the All Queensland affair, the Broncos versus Dolphins.
This is a tough one.
Before last week, I would have said Dolphins.
Yep. I'm going to say Broncos in this one. I just think you've still got Ben Hunt there.
Yep.
You got Billy Walters to go to 5'8". I reckon there could be an opportunity, maybe him slot back in the hooker during the periods of the game, which he's been so threatening out of. I just think there's too many losses for the Dolphins. Herbie Farnworth is huge to be out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like what Tatey said earlier. The fact that the Dolphins have probably gone under the radar a little bit in how well they've performed, considering all the injuries that they've copped. And it's like I expected this weeks ago. Like that sort of dip in
Yeah.
form.
Fall,
They've
yeah.
done so well, but I think Broncos.
Yeah. Okay. South versus Eels wrap up Saturday night.
This
It's
is
a blood jerk up, isn't it?
this is a toss of the coin. I'm gonna go Para off the back of Mitch Moses. The difference.
Yeah, I feel like Eels would be too strong here. South basically have just taken every random South guy around the nation. And
I
lined him up
reckon.
next to Latrell.
I reckon Eels win this well because South will be pumped that they're not in the fight for the spoon anymore last week, and they would have celebrated that after.
Cody Walker he's on the extended bench. If he comes back, that helps. But I think Mitch will be the
Mitch's kicking
difference.
game's
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
The short centre too.
You cop any good Mitch sprays? Mitch Moses sprays? Talon De Silva esque?
I actually got him a few good ones.
Yeah.
Ooh, gave him
'Cause
back.
Mitch was a young lad, and
Yeah.
he was one. I tell you, it's a good story about Mitch. You had to be upfront honest with Mitch, and he sort of used to get the shits at the time when you give it to him, but he understood why. He was one that you could be very honest with
Yeah. Okay.
because you'd be throwing passes to row 15, so he'd have to pull him in. But look at him now; he's a big game player.
Is that because you?
I know,
gave it
you're
to him?
taking
You
credit
made
for
him
that.
the player?
Oh, you know what? I just take credit for a little bit of Mitch. I always said, look, I tell you, out of Tedesco, Brooks, and Moses, Mitchell always had the best footy brain.
Okay.
But his skinny little rig held him back for a while, and he's sort of grown into his body now.
Which teammate would give you the best spray? Who was the best sprayer of all
Best
the blokes
spray.
you played?
Wade Graham was great.
Yeah?
Wade Graham was great. Because with Wado, he would absolutely just tear shreds off you, but you knew it wasn't personal. And it was for why you're on the footy field. As soon as you got to the footy field, it was like nothing happened on the game. And he was one that would never hold a grudge. Like he just wanted what was best for the team. He'd spray himself. Yeah, like he'd do a crap. You know, Wado, what are you doing? Like he'd start blowing up at himself. So you knew when, if you caught one from Wado, you knew it was to be better at rugby league, but don't take it personal. Don't you hear him say it, but you move straight on.
Were you at the Sharks when I think I sent you a reel recently and Sean Johnson came out and spoke about?
Yeah, I was there.
Was it Will Chambers?
Yeah, Will Chambers
Will
was
Chambers
there.
got
Mate, we
signed
had a
from the
lot.
Storm.
So you had obviously Wade, Chamber, you had Josh Dugan, you had Fafita.
Hello, you. You
Yeah,
could
mate.
spray. Hello.
Mate, I wrote in the comments, I said, imagine what they heard what we used to say at training. Yeah. You get a live band. Mate, you should have seen the left v rights, mate. Some of the banter going on then. You would have thought that we all hated each other.
Really?
It was just so competitive.
What was it like? 'Cause Sean Johnson spoke about when they signed, because Will Chambers was one of the biggest sledges ever,
Yep.
and Melbourne Storm and Sharks had such a massive competitive nature about it, and he gave it to all the Sharks players. And SJ goes, when they found out he was signing him, I was part of the preseason. He goes, everyone had to sit down in the sheds and go, we've got some stuff to bury. here."
Well, so I
Was
was
that what
really,
happened?
because Will was ringing me up when they was talking about coming, and Wado and myself, we'd played Aussies with him, and we knew, like, Will, if you get to know him, he's a great fella.
Yeah.
He's a good bloke, but when you cross that white line, he's a dead set lunatic. And some of the things he said to Gow and some of the things Gow said back to him, it's what goes on the field stays on the field with those two
Okay.
blokes. They wouldn't, and it was sometimes, what is it across the line? Yeah, we don't know. But the one thing that Will said,
Yeah, we know. Did.
Yeah.
the one thing that Will did say was if he does come, he would love to get the blessing of Gow. And he went to Gow first. So
Okay.
it shows you that he's got a lot of respect for Gow. He knows what Gow's done for that jersey.
Yeah.
It also shows you the culture they got in Melbourne. Blokes, the leaders, and what he would do and how he would listen to the leaders. So
Yeah, okay.
that was buried straight away as soon as he came.
Was there anyone that took it personally that took a little bit longer to get around?
Yeah, there's a couple, but I'm not going to say. Because,
Come on.
some of them are still playing.
Okay, take your pick. Any more hints there or?
No comment. No comment.
Soft.
I'm pretty open with everything, but I like.
Yeah, okay. I know when to stop pushing
Yes.
you. All right, moving on. Speaking of when to shut you up, West Tigers taking on Manly.
Jesus Christ.
This is a tough round.
This is a tough game too. Gotta go.
Oh,
he
gonna
just
draw.
jumped
Say it.
fence
He couldn't
again.
say
I'm
it.
gonna go draw. Well, Jakey's out. That really hurts. Jakey's out. You got Olakawatu's out.
Tigers will come in with more confidence, like a
Tigers
more
have gone good, mate.
exuberance.
The
You
game
reckon?
the Tigers had against the
Then
Bulldogs, that was the
Manly,
best
yeah.
defensive effort I've seen in a long time for them. The only problem is why we're not talking about Tigers because of the silly thing that happened after the game. All right, Tigers, tip Tigers.
Okay.
Tigers as well.
Not-
Really?
I just think this is a 50-50.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
they're
no
both,
co- no-
both those sides, right? The
Don't ask
games-
why.
no,
Don't look at me.
honestly, games that Tigers or Manly should win, they lose.
Yeah.
But Manly have just so inconsistent.
I'm
She's
off
so
them the way they
frustrating.
played like the last.
Love all the boys. I love the glove Siebes, but just when you think they should win, they just
Well, I did what you told me last week. I tipped against them, which normally makes them win, and
Didn't work.
didn't work. So I got the tip right. So I'm in
they
there.
tip the draw this week then.
Okay, so you're tipping the draw. That's
Nah,
a bold
try again.
statement from
A bold
Woodsy.
statement, draw.
Yeah, draw after Golden Point. Okay.
Oh, mate.
All right, Cowboys Knights. This is another one. This is a toss of the coin.
This is like for games that don't mean too much. There's a lot on the line.
It shouldn't be toss of the coin when you sit down and break the sides
Yeah.
down, right? Like it is. It's a tight. It's
Yeah.
a 100%. Like, but when you sit there and you look at that North Queensland side,
I'm going to go there
and
because they're
you
at home.
and you look at that Knights
But then they
side,
lost Cohen Hess.
and Griffin Nean's the other one they've lost,
Hmm.
who was outstanding for them.
Like
this
Cohen
year.
Hess, like Tatey said on
Yeah.
the show, Cohen Hess has been outstanding.
Yeah, I mean they're two best middles. Like, but North Queensland.
Yeah,
Surely.
surely. And Raiders are on the bye, so I mean, great.
They're flying.
Yeah, but they had the loss that they needed.
Yeah, they did.
And
We
now
spoke
they've got
about
the
that, yeah.
break. And I thought it was really cool. They sort of spoke about it during the week that their players have come together and decided they're having a booze ban. And normally, like Raiders with 4 days off, you'd go,
Yeah.
ooh, not a lot to do in Canberra.
Yeah, I don't really like the booze bands because it's just you're grown
Yeah, but
men.
it's
You
a
know
new
when to pick and
school.
choose. I know,
It's
but
a
you know
new
when to pick and
school.
choose. You know
They
what's
don't
right
drink
and
as
wrong.
much these days.
Nah.
Yeah, but you know what's right and wrong.
Yeah.
But if it brings the team together, then you got to be doing it because they're coming first.
Because I spoke to a physio who shall not be named, and it was asking him, I was like, what's it like with the players now? What's your biggest battle like post game? And like when I was growing up, like my mates were like Chalk and Snake and that crew, and they're the blokes that used to be out literally having beers, schnitzels, and be home at midnight the night before a game. But they will work hard, play hard, train hard, play hard, sort of thing. Nowadays, the physios reckon the biggest problem they have is after a game, the boys go gaming. And it's hip flexors because they're sitting there on their seats, like,
It is, mate.
which is wild.
It's weird.
Like, it's no longer worrying if they're going to turn up like drunk or hungover at
You got to be careful with the
recovery.
social media videos they put out there.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
no streaming. Was that a weird one for you to cover the streaming announcement? Like when, who was it?
Terrell May.
Yeah, Terrell May on the stream saying, throw the jumper away.
No, it wasn't that weird. It's sort of like
You just come to terms with this.
yeah,
day.
it's sort of like it.
How much are you stalking?
No,
and stalking's a bad word, but how much are you looking
Doesn't know how
at?
to use computers.
Nah, zero.
Rich. That is so rich.
One of those things called, I ask if he knows what it is.
What
Like pictures where they write stuff on it.
What?
on Instagram?
Memes or something.
Memes.
Yeah, do you know what a meme is? Do you know what a meme is?
A meme. Is it what?
Meme, that's it.
What's going on here?
The man is Ash loves his social media, so he's
yeah,
mate.
like-
Dribbler.
Nah, I don't sit there and troll looking for
Yeah.
stuff. If they do something silly, like
Yeah.
it just gets sent around. Do you know what I mean?
That's Michael Carayannis. He's just refreshed.
Nah, no. That's not.
Who is a social media watcher?
Nah, honestly, I don't think any of us are because if they do something, it will come to our attention.
Yeah.
People will screenshot it, people will send it, people will tweet it, people will do whatever with it, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not sitting there. I'm not sitting there refreshing anyone's.
Hey,
Unless
but
I think something's about to happen, or something's happened, or whatever the case.
when you
may
know
be.
someone's a liability on the drink,
Nah,
just lost the season and it's coming to Mad Monday. When I was a media manager, that used to be my I just hated it, and that was the most stressful time. Is as soon as it got to end of season. But we were lucky. I think Instagram didn't have stories or anything, and you could only put photos up. And it was Twitter, so it was players going ranting on Twitter or like reacting, and then just a photo that was getting put up. But you'd still sit there just nerve-wracked. And now every time it gets to Mad Monday, I'm like, Godspeed, Journos.
Yeah.
Godspeed, media managers.
Well, it's like we did after when Penrith, because Penrith had a few wild celebrations after they won a comp and shed it all, right? So obviously after they won the comp on like Monday, you'd be checking. You'd look
Was
to
that
see.
the storm during COVID when?
Munster
doing
and
stuff
Hughes or
like
something,
that.
or
Yeah,
Addo and just giving it
What
to
about
Bellamy.
Penrith had the one where they were like nursing the Craven Summers medal,
that's
the
right.
trophy,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
they
yeah.
broke it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like so stuff like that. You go, all right, well you're checking to see what's doing, and they'll so.
Fisher Harris.
Yeah, there was a few of them. Viliami kick-out singing "Glory, Glory" to South Sydney,
Oh, that's
and
right. Yeah.
so
That's good, mate. You like to see the personality.
Yeah.
I've got
They
no,
won the comp, they
I've
can
got
do
no,
what they
I've got no issue with
Yeah,
it. But it
neither.
doesn't mean so. stuff like that,
Yeah.
but not general day-to-day stuff.
MC, if you could pick a headline for the end of the year, like a lead, like a big story that's gonna be happening by the end of the year, what would you roll the dice on?
I think the big story will come November when Perth starts signing players. I think that's going to be a huge story.
Yeah.
Who's their first signing?
Who's their first signing? I'm going to go Cameron Munster.
Oh, wow.
You reckon that's got mail?
Wow.
There's a fair bit that needs to happen.
What
before
about
that's
Tino?
Tino, yeah, Tino's going to, Tino will be up there. But, there'll be lots of other players that they look at that aren't like superstar names, right?
Yeah.
So
I couldn't see Cameron Munster in another jersey. Like, it just doesn't, it just wouldn't look right, would it?
yeah,
And he's so settled in there with his family. Yeah.
But if they can get him, that is massive.
it'd be huge. It'd be huge. He turned away lots of money last time for the Dolphins. He thought
that's
he
true.
thought he was going to
Yeah.
the Dolphins, but elected to stay in Melbourne. I'm not sure he'll do it this time around. But Melbourne still doesn't have permission to negotiate, right? Still got 2 more years left on his contract. So there's a fair bit that needs to play out before that happens. But I think he'll be there. Might not be like first signing, but will be their first marquee probably.
Grand final, 2 teams. Who are we seeing in there?
Melbourne, Penrith.
Yeah, okay. So the Thursday night.
Melbourne,
Grand final
Penrith.
preview. Canberra Smokies.
Well, they're not smokers. They're coming first.
Yeah, because they're going to get a home semi.
Yeah, they're coming first. So,
So if
like
they win
they're-
this first
yeah,
one, they
yeah,
get
yeah.
a home a premium.
Yeah.
This is Canberra Smokies is his way of not saying Sharks in the top 4. Like he's going to go for
Canberra
an obvious
Smokies. I just think when I sit there and you look at the top 4 teams, I still think Melbourne and Penrith have the most improvement in it.
Yeah, they're elite.
They got the most improvement. And Canberra being out, I tipped them to come last. So,
Did you?
Yeah, I've won a
Ouch.
fair bit of that. So, so they've done exceptional.
Yeah.
So I think, but yeah, injury like Jerome Hughes doesn't come back, I might change my mind.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a big one.
So
Penrith
it's-
is a yo.
Yeah, I think Yo will be okay because they've had
He
an
was due to come back
uncanny
this
knack,
week.
Just getting it
Penrith,
right.
Yeah.
of getting guys ready for
Yeah.
the
They're
business
going to
end.
finish
yeah.
in the 4, do you reckon?
They'll finish in the. They got a tough run, but I think
The
they'll-
Who's
last
your
3
top 4
games.
then?
I think it stays as is.
Okay.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
because Brisbane injured, like Brisbane
That's
would
what I
have
tipped.
been the one.
That was my top 4 that I've tipped.
Cronulla,
No, what'd you take?
Cronulla can't make the top 4.
Woodsy's top 4 is Raiders, Storm, Bulldogs, Panthers.
Warriors
You
are
know what-
struggling, so you know what I mean. I think Penrith will do enough to finish 4th,
Okay.
and they play Canberra week 1, and then Melbourne they're on different. They'll be on different sides
Yeah.
of the draw.
Yeah.
If they all.
Why can't Raiders win grand
Oh,
final?
they can definitely.
Okay.
Of course they can. Yeah, like they've been exceptional.
I'd love to see Sevilla Tamale back.
Yeah.
He was the most tackle breaks in the competition when he was there, and he was just a handful. Look, I know Ricky Stewart's young bloke's done a good job, but I think they go the next level if they can get Sav back in the team.
I just think with Canberra, there's lots of unknowns.
Yeah, they got to be
know-
good on their day.
Penrith and Melbourne are proven, right? So what's it going to be like in a prelim when the pressure's on and,
Yeah,
and
okay.
things like that? But
Yeah.
Canterbury,
know.
I think Canterbury's time's next year. I just don't think they're there yet. So yeah, otherwise I don't see anyone outside the top 4 winning now.
I reckon it's going to be one of the best final series we've seen in a long time. Because
Yeah.
a lot of them, when you get to the prelim, it's been a bit of a flogging. No disrespect to the sides, to the Verse, Penrith, or the Storm. I think this one, the prelim, anyone can win these prelims.
Yeah. I think it's going to be exciting. And I think
The week off's going to be huge. Whoever
Yeah,
gets the
huge.
week off after the first semi is going to be massive.
I think the shops of Belmore are going to be stoked
Oh,
if
yeah.
Bulldogs don't make it because you'd be boarding up the shop.
Oh, no, it'd be great.
It'll be mental, but I just think I'd be
Great.
like the
car
They're
horns.
going to go nuts.
far
That's
out.
it.
Well, MC, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it. Hopefully, we can get some more yarns out of you throughout
Yes.
before the season's finished.
Yep, hopefully.
Wrapped and roasted. Thank you, Woodsy.
Thank you very much.
And of course, Tatey on the other end. And a big happy birthday to Ash, who celebrated it over in America as well, too. But he'll be back next week for round 25.
Almost there.
Oh my God, that's crazy. Thank you very much for joining us. Like, subscribe, share, all of the social media things. Thank you for joining us on ausmericanaces NRL.
You win some, you lose more. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.